All right, Lisa Johnson's going to join us. We're going to take a really quick break here. We're going to talk a little Miami Dolphins. She does an excellent job of covering the Miami Dolphins on a daily basis. We will talk to Lisa Johnson next. There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support. All right, we're back. I promised you we're going to talk a little Miami Dolphin. Lisa Johnson does an excellent job of covering the Fins. I've known Lisa for a couple of years. We talk at camp. We talk at the Senior Bowl. She goes down there. She is as hardcore as it gets. Check out Our Turf Football. It's ourturffb.com. Follow her on Twitter at LJ1303. She is Lisa Johnson. Lisa, good afternoon. Oh, actually, no, good morning still. Good morning. How you doing?
Yes, I am good. I'm good. Thank you. Take it easy on me now. It's my first time with you. So
you're good. I've spoken to you for a few years. You know your stuff. That's why you're on here, because you know your stuff. Overall, I know, Lisa, that you haven't been totally convinced yet with Tua. So where are you now that you're watching him, where it seems like he's more in a comfort zone than he was last year with this offense and everything going on?
Oh, absolutely. And it is fair shake, because like I said, I didn't really get to see him too much last year because of the COVID thing, Big O. So I was just dying to get my eyes on him when camp opened up. And, I like what I see. I see a development. I see maturity on his part. He's definitely taken the leadership role on. I mean, he's pulling linemen to the side. You see him talking every single play. And that's what we wanted to see. I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see him develop the rapport with his wide receivers. And, unfortunately, with Fuller, Parker, Wilson, and Ford being out, still nursing some injuries and being held out, which gives the other guys a little chance, you're still seeing him just 100% involved in this offense, which is great to see. I've certainly kept up with the stories. Fans worried about the zip on the ball. I saw one of those beautiful passes I've ever seen him throw yesterday to Savon Oddman. Flawless. I mean, it was just one of the most beautiful passes I've seen the kid throw. And I'm like, wow, he effortless too. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it looks like he's really, trying to get the ball out. You give the kid some time, and I think he's going to be okay. I've talked to several people about him. I was cautiously optimistic. Everybody knows that. And kind of still am. I just want to see him in the game day situations. But if this O-line can give him some time, I think the kid's going to be solid.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the kid when it comes to his passing. I think he's going to be fine. And one of the things that we actually don't talk about, because and I know it's only training camp, so It's not a big thing, but we always talk about quarterbacks elevating others. Well, his offensive line isn't playing well.
No.
And yet he's still getting things done with Ahmed, with Foster, with Merritt. I'm not talking about Devontae Parker. I'm not talking about Jalen Waddle, although Jalen Waddle put on a little bit of a show yesterday. Will Fuller hasn't been there. Preston Williams hasn't been there. He's using the second-level guys, and he's having success with those guys. And even the back-end tight ends, whether it's Smythe or Shaheen, they're making plays with him. So you always – one of the things they haven't had here, Lisa, for many years – since 13 retired, is a QB that elevates others. And I think we're getting a little flavor of that right now with Tua, because they can't run the ball. They can't block very well.
Not yet.
And yet he's making plays with secondary guys. That tells me that he's got the goods.
Yeah, and like I said, and especially watching him and game day situations, Big O, you can only think that'll elevate even more, because we know of the emotions that go into game day. And if he can show this emotion in training camp, it's certainly going to roll over into a game. You're going to see him that one game, and I'm just waiting for him to have that one game that he takes the game over. He'll take control. I mean, if somebody misses a block, Austin Jackson misses block, you're going to see Tua right in his face. That's what we need to see.
How concerned are you about this line right now? Or is it, because some guy on the text machine was like, well, this line, it shouldn't take so long. And I'm like, well, how many teams in the history of the NFL start rebuilding a line and they put 4 to 5 young guys in it? That's unheard of. Normally it's maybe 1 or 2 sprinkled in with, if you had Pouncey and Brandon Albert here, right. You had like 3 veterans, and then you plug in 2 young guys. Well, those veterans can help those young guys, hide them a little bit, guide them, all of that. These young guys are looking around going, I don't have a veteran tackle I can really talk to, right, or a veteran guard or a veteran center. I know Jesse's there, but Jesse's really not elite. He's experienced, not elite. And so you don't have a Mike Pouncey that you can turn to and say, hey, 7-time Pro Bowler, can you tell me how to do this? Hey, Brandon Albert, 5-time Pro Bowler, can you help me how to do this? That people don't realize how much more difficult Miami has made it on themselves to build a line from scratch.
And it was funny, as I was talking to one of my followers the other day about it too, same thing you are. It seems like every single year we have this discussion with this offensive line. And it always seems like, God forbid, I don't know why Flo does this. I think it's just he loves projects. He loves projects. And he brings these guys in and he wants a line to plug and play. I mean, you need to know, if you're an offensive lineman, you better know that right tackle spot. You better know the left tackle spot and your guard spot, because you're going to be moved around, because not only does Flo like depth, he likes his linemen to be versatile. He likes them to be able to play wherever he plugs and plays them. And everybody in the NFL knows that it's going to take at least 4 or 5 games for these guys to get their continuity together, learn each other. And it's going to be rough for us because we open with New England, we open with Buffalo. Hopefully by the Raiders game, the third game, I'm thinking we're going to see a little bit of a change, and hopefully these guys will be together. And last year, same thing. It takes a couple games for these guys to, that's why preseason is so important this year to me, because this is what we need these guys to be. And so you're still going to see it, and you're going to have fans bitching the first couple games because you're going to see that pressure coming. But give these guys the camp and a couple games, and I think you're going to see a lot better continuity with these guys by 3 or 4.
Lisa Johnson joining us. And I love, Lisa, that you've got the right attitude about this, because some people think it's going to happen this week against Atlanta, that all of a sudden they're going to gel. And it's not going to happen unless we get to the regular season. And like you said, several games in, because they're going to scheme for them. They're going to do all kinds of things. And they got to learn. Right now they're watching vanilla coverages the entire time. Guys aren't doing anything fancy. They will once the regular season starts. And that's the experience that they need. That's the experience that Solomon Kinley has to develop with Austin Jackson, and Solomon with Dieter, and Dieter obviously with Hunt, and Hunt with, if it's going to be Jesse Davis at the right side. All of these guys have not played together for a couple of years where they know each other and they can think along the same lines. And if you have to go zone blocking in one down, you got to have the right feel for it. Or if you're doing man, you got to make sure you're picking up the right guys off of stunts and things like that. All of this stuff is going to take them a while to kind of learn it and be in a groove where they're all playing together. And you nailed it. It's not going to happen now. It's going to happen. It's hopefully it happens at some point in the regular season.
And it will. And it's going to be good for Tua, too, because he's going to get to be able to tell these guys, too. And they're all going to learn together and come together as a group. And either they do or they don't. And it's like I said, at least give it to at least game 4. I've always said that. Like I said, it's just a tough opening for us, but it's a great test for these young guys. And these are men. Let's be honest. These are men out there. It's, it's time to put the big boy pants on and get to work. So.
Yep. By the way, Salvan Ahmed catches a nice 25-yard pass along the sideline from Reed Sinnett. He's becoming a pass-catching weapon. Yes. And so, but I think somebody is putting here that Ahmed ended up getting injured here. I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. Or
Okay.
Bowden. I'm sorry. Bowden just went up to reel a pass from Jacoby Brissett and took a hard fall. That's who it was.
Okay,
He's on
okay.
the ground getting looked at by trainers. So Lynn Bowden
Okay.
Jr. And Lynn Bowden was played well this past week after kind of being, disappeared for the first part of the pre or training camp. That is, he played
Mhm.
well in the game. So it was nice to see him actually step up. What are you concerned about the running backs?
Yes and no. I mean, we don't have that sexy name running back or that big stud running back. So I think Flo's happy with these two guys. We got Oddman's definitely, to me, the clear shot right now at number one. I mean, Gaston, yeah, he's running hard and he'll get you some things, but that 1-2 punch. But Oddman coming out of that backfield with his hands and the ability to make the catches that he is, that's a great added weapon for this offense. And so they can do a lot with that, with the tight end sets, with that running back coming out. As long as we can contain that pressure and open up some lanes for him to run and keep the pressure off Tua, I think you're going to see some great things from this kid.
Yeah, he does look like the more explosive back out of the three guys. I completely agree with you. And when we look at the tight end spot,
Yes.
who's number two in your eyes? Is it Shaheen? Is it Smythe? How are you using them?
Oh, Sheehan, that he catches everything that comes to him. So, I mean, and he's a huge target back there, and it seems like Tua has a nice comfort level with him. So I would say Sheehan, to me, is the number two right now, from what I've just seen.
Smythe is the blocker. So, although I
Right.
give him credit, he got better as a receiver last year.
Mhm.
He did make improvements. So he's going to be on the team because he can do, the blocking better than the
Right.
other two guys. And that's why I would, I know that's why they wanted to make him more of a receiver, because he's so important as a blocker, and maybe they can use him. But you're right. Shaheen has kind of separated himself as the pass catcher.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but and like I said, I was listening to you about Preston Williams, and I'm on. Oh my God, it's like you're my soul brother on your take on him. I think just if they get this kid healthy, I was so excited to see him this year. I thought we were going to see some great things from him. But to me, it opens up the door for Jakeem Grant now to make this 53 again because of that. So, because Grant, man, he's hot and cold. I mean, you'll love him one play, he'll break your heart the next. So,
well, but you love him anyways, always on special teams. It's
always.
See, here's where I differ with a lot of people, and it seems like with you also, Lisa. I have him on the team the entire time. I never thought he was on the bubble at all because over the years, Devin Hester sucked at wide receiver. Brian Mitchell, you didn't use him as a running back. There's a ton of guys over the years that were exceptional as returners, and that's how they held their spot. Fulton Walker for the Dolphins. That guy wasn't any good at any other position, but he was a hell of a returner. So Shula kept him around, obviously, and was big in the Super Bowl. And so, to me, that's what you do with Jakeem. What the biggest problem with Jakeem has been injuries to other receivers that then forces you to use him. And because he's a little guy, he wears down. Now that you've got Jalen Waddle, I keep using the Hardeman and Tyreek Hill example. Hardeman is the main returner for Kansas City, but every once in a while they're down by 7 late in a game. You need a little extra juice. They throw in Tyreek Hill. That's what I would do. Jakeem would be my everyday returner, but if I need to have a little extra juice, I throw in Jalen Waddle. But Jalen, coming off of foot surgery, I'm not going to put a full-time receiver and a full-time returner. So to me, nobody can do what Jakeem can do. Very few people in the NFL can do what Jakeem does. I would never trade Jakeem. That's just me.
Yeah, and I'm with you. But I was very surprised at how many people disagree with us on the 53 with him. And I think it is because, like I said, but Waddle, when you watch Waddle return a kick, this kid has and what you just said would be absolutely perfect in a game where you're down in the fourth quarter and you need a little juice, and you know Grant's going to get you some. This Waddle has a different gear when he's a returner. It is amazing. And he would give you that spark. But seeing him on the field, I'm in love with Jalen Waddle. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a solid pick as of right now. If this kid plays as good as he's playing in the training camp and preseason, it's going to be a home run pick for Greer and Flo on that pick. I love this kid.
But what he did yesterday,
right.
He faked out a corner in a phone booth because the guy was right in front of him when he caught the ball, and he juked him and was gone. And you're right. And you're right that in a punt return like situation, that shiftiness that he has, that
amazing
movement is going to be priceless in those kind of situations. And here's the other thing. While Jakeem is smaller, and I know you got to get low to the ground to kind of get to him, he's not going to break nearly as many tackles. That may help you also late in the game. Waddle's a little bigger player, and so he might be able to break an extra tackle or two to get you yardage at the end of a game. But what he did yesterday to that DB, that's the kind of stuff that is, you can't teach that.
No, that's textbook. That's textbook. There's I always say it's called the sixth sense of every single position. There's certain things that quarterbacks have that I don't think can be taught. One of those is pocket presence. That's just, to me, that's a sixth sense of a quarterback. Yeah, and you either have it or you don't. I don't think that's something you can teach. And wide receiver, the same thing. The way this kid runs routes, the way this kid instinctively knows on which way to break and cut. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Lisa, tell the folks about OurTurfFootball.com so they can check you out, OurTurfFB.com. Tell them about it.
Absolutely. We're actually full NFL credited NFL media site, all owned and operated by women. We have several reporters, Seattle, Cleveland, Detroit. You can find us on a podcast every Tuesday night.
Miami.
Yes, hopefully. Yes. So, but yeah, look for me, follow me. I try to follow back. I love talking to everybody, and getting everybody's insight and opinions on everything. But man, it's been great with you. Been dying to get on with you. Like you said, we talked at the Senior Bowl and enjoyed that immensely. And look for your guidance, and definitely take some of your hints on how to be successful in this podcast business. So,
well, I don't know about successful, but we're surviving. At least we're trying to survive. Follow her on Twitter. You see the Twitter handle there. If not, you're listening on the podcast. LJ1303. I gotta ask: is the 13 for Marino?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What's the 03 then?
My dad used to run NASCAR, so we were big Dale Earnhardt people.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So I grew up with NASCAR and the Dolphins. So I just kind of, took those two numbers, and put them together.
Okay. All right. I figured 13 was for Dan Marino. It's a beautiful thing. Lisa, thank you very much. Folks, check out OurTurfFB.com. Support my girl, Lisa. She does an excellent job of covering the Dolphins. Lisa, we will chat again in the future. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. There you go. Lisa Johnson. Good stuff there. Excellent debut there for us on the program. We will have Lisa back to talk a little Dolphins.